Admiral Horatio Nelson, 1758 to 1805, is one of Britain's most celebrated naval heroes, renowned for his strategic brilliance and leadership during the Napoleonic Wars, particularly at the Battle of Trafalgar. Below is a detailed account of his military career, personal life, and complete history based on historical records and supplemented by insights from web sources where relevant. Asterisk. Early life and background. Born September 29, 1758, in Burnham Thorpe, Norfolk, England. Family. Horatio Nelson was the sixth of 11 children born to Reverend Edmund Nelson and Catherine Suckling. His father was a clergyman, and his mother came from a modestly prominent family with naval connections, including her uncle, Captain Morris Suckling. Education. Nelson attended Norwich School and later Sir John Paston School in North Walsham, but showed little academic inclination. His interest in the sea was sparked early, likely through family ties. Entry into the Navy at age 12, Nelson joined the Royal Navy in 1771 under the patronage of his uncle, Captain Morris Suckling, serving as a midshipman on HMS Reasonable. This marked the beginning of his lifelong naval career. Asterisk. Naval career and wars. Nelson's naval career spanned several conflicts, including the American Revolutionary War, the French Revolutionary Wars, and the Napoleonic Wars. His tactical genius, courage, and unconventional strategies made him a legend. Asterisk. Admiral Horatio Nelson's early naval service, from 1771 to 1793, laid the foundation for his illustrious career, marked by rapid promotions, diverse experiences, and the development of his leadership skills. Below is a detailed account of this period, focusing on his activities, roles, and key events during these formative years in the Royal Navy. Asterisk. Entry into the Navy 1771, age 12. In 1771, Horatio Nelson joined the Royal Navy at the age of 12, facilitated by his uncle, Captain Morris Suckling, a respected naval officer. Suckling's influence was crucial, as the Navy often relied on patronage for entry. First ship. Nelson began as a midshipman on HMS Reasonable, a 64-gun ship of the line commanded by Suckling. This was a typical starting point for young officers. Combining menial duties with learning seamanship, early training, Nelson quickly adapted to naval life, learning navigation, gunnery, and ship handling. His uncle's mentorship provided him with opportunities unavailable to many of his peers. Asterisk. Early voyages and experiences. 1771 to 1776, West Indies service. 1771 to 1773, Nelson served in the West Indies, a key British naval station, on various ships, including merchant vessels arranged by Suckling to broaden his experience. He briefly sailed on a merchant ship to gain practical seamanship skills, unusual for a future officer, but valuable for understanding commercial maritime operations. He developed an early familiarity with the Caribbean, a region where he would later spend significant time. Asterisk. Arctic Expedition 1773, at age 14. Nelson joined an expedition to the Arctic aboard HMS Carcass, part of a scientific mission led by Captain Constantine Phipps to find a northeast passage. The expedition faced harsh conditions, with ships trapped in ice, but Nelson's participation showcased his resilience. A famous anecdote from this period, possibly apocryphal, recounts Nelson's encounter with a polar bear, which he attempted to hunt, demonstrating his boldness even as a boy. Asterisk. East Indies service 1731-776. Nelson served on HMS Seahorse in the East Indies, sailing to India and the Indian Ocean under Captain George Farmer. This exposed him to long-distance voyages and tropical climates. During this period, he contracted malaria, which severely weakened him and forced his return to England in 1776. The illness nearly ended his career, but his recovery solidified his determination to succeed in the Navy. Asterisk. Promotion to midshipman, an acting lieutenant, by 1776. Nelson's experience and Suckling's influence led to his promotion to midshipman. His early roles involved assisting with navigation, managing crew tasks, and learning the complexities of ship command. American Revolutionary War 1776-1783. The American Revolutionary War provided Nelson with his first taste of combat and significant responsibility, accelerating his rise through the ranks. Promotion to lieutenant 1777 at age 19. Nelson passed his lieutenant's examination and was commissioned on HMS Lowestoft, a frigate in the West Indies. His duties included anti-smuggling operations and intercepting American privateers. Nelson's initiative and courage impressed his superiors, setting him apart as a promising officer. First command 1778. In 1778, Nelson was given command of the schooner Little Lucy, a small vessel used for coastal patrols in the Caribbean. This marked his first experience as a commanding officer, honing his leadership skills. Promotion to post captain 1779 at the remarkably young age of 20. Nelson was promoted to post captain and given command of HMS Hinchinbroke, a 28-gun frigate. In 1779, this rapid advancement reflected his talent and Suckling's continued support. Suckling was now controller of the Navy, as Captain Nelson led operations in the West Indies, including escorting convoys and engaging enemy. His aggressive approach and attention to detail earned him respect. San Juan, Expedition 1780. Nelson participated in an ill-fated amphibious expedition to capture a Spanish fort on the San Juan River in Nicaragua, aimed at disrupting Spanish control. In Central America, he commanded naval support for the operation, navigating treacherous rivers to transport troops. The mission succeeded in capturing the fort, but was marred by disease, with many British soldiers and sailors, including Nelson, falling ill. Nelson's health suffered, and he was forced to return to England to recover. HMS Albemarle, 1781 to 1783. After recovering, Nelson was given command of HMS Albemarle, a 28-gun frigate. In 1781, he served in the North Sea and Baltic escorting convoys and protecting British trade routes from American and French privateers. In 1782, he sailed to North America, joining Admiral Samuel Hood's squadron in the West Indies. He participated in minor actions against French forces, but saw no major battles as the war was winding down. The Treaty of Paris, 1783, ended the war, leaving Nelson temporarily without active combat duties. Peacetime service and marriage. 1783 to 1793, the period between the American Revolutionary War and the French Revolutionary Wars, was one of relative peace, during which Nelson refined his skills and navigated personal and professional challenges. West Indies enforcement, 1784 to 1787, Nelson returned to the West Indies as captain of HMS Boreas, a 28-gun frigate tasked with enforcing the Navigation Acts, which restricted trade between British colonies and foreign powers, especially the newly independent United States. His strict enforcement of these laws, particularly against American merchants trading illegally with British colonies, made him unpopular with local merchants and colonial officials. However, his commitment to duty earned him admiration from naval authorities. During this period, Nelson developed a reputation for integrity and fearlessness, often clashing with powerful interests to uphold British law. Marriage to Frances Nisbet, 1787. While stationed on Nevis, Nelson met Frances Fanny Nisbet, a widow with a young son, Josiah. Fanny was the niece of a prominent planter, John Herbert. Nelson and Fanny married on March 11, 1787, in a ceremony attended by Prince William, future King William IV, who was serving as a naval officer in the West Indies. The marriage initially seemed affectionate, but Nelson's long absences and later infidelity strained their relationship. Returned to England and half-pay 1787 to 1793 with no major wars. Nelson was placed on half-pay and lived in Burnham Thorpe, Norfolk, with Fanny. This period of inactivity frustrated him, as he longed for active service. He lobbied for new commands, but faced challenges due to his earlier disputes with West Indies merchants, which had alienated some influential figures. Nelson used this time to study naval tactics, maintain correspondence with naval colleagues, and prepare for future opportunities. His health, still affected by recurring malaria, remained a concern. Personal life. Nelson's personal life was as complex and dramatic as his naval career, marked by a strained marriage, a scandalous love affair, and deep devotion to duty. Marriage to Frances Fanny Nisbet in 1787, while stationed in the West Indies. Nelson married Frances Nisbet, a widow with a young son, Josiah. The marriage took place on Nevis, with Prince William as best man. The couple had no children together, and their relationship grew distant over time, partly due to Nelson's long absences at sea and his later affair. Fanny remained loyal, but struggled with Nelson's infidelity and public scandal. Relationship with Emma Hamilton. In 1798, while stationed in Naples, Nelson met Emma Hamilton, the wife of Sir William Hamilton, the British envoy to Naples. Emma was a former courtesan and a charismatic figure. Nelson and Emma began a passionate affair, which became a public scandal. In 1801, Emma gave birth to their daughter, Horatio Nelson, whom Nelson adored. The affair strained his marriage and reputation, as he openly lived with Emma and Sir William in a ménage à trois arrangement in England. After Sir William's death in 1803, Nelson and Emma continued their relationship, though they never married. Emma's financial mismanagement and alcoholism after Nelson's death led to her decline, and she died in poverty in 1815. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more military, navy, and geopolitical updates.